If my grandfather were still alive, he would now be 122 years old. People of his generation didn't talk much about the world's most popular three-letter word. What happened in the bedroom stayed in the bedroom. They certainly never talked about how age interfered with their performance. Well, that's a subject I want to raise here today. When I was in my teens, my maternal grandfather gave me two pieces of advice where women are concerned. With a naughty gleam in his eyes, he would say, "Marry a rich woman. They're all annoying anyway." And still, find yourself a young girl. They grow old and ugly all by themselves. On both occasions, Grandma was sitting next to him and poked her elbow into his ribs. I didn't take Grandpa's first advice. I married a poor Filipina from Ormoc City who came to Belgium with all her possessions in one suitcase. I did follow his second advice though. My ex-Filipina wife was 15 years younger than me. That still makes me an amateur compared to many Western men living in the Philippines with women who are 30 or 40 years their junior. In the episode Age Matters, I compared 3 different age groups and went over the pros and cons of dating someone in each of these groups. If you haven't seen that episode, I can certainly recommend that you search it on my channel. One of the cons of dating with a large age gap is that there may come a time in your life when your hardwood turns to plywood. And then she will still be very much into it. If you are lucky and she really loves you and lives by strict moral standards, she might stay faithful to you. But a much more likely scenario is that when you stop feeding the pussy will start eating out. Hey, you are still watching. Does that mean you like this video? Because if you do, why not give me a thumbs up? Or even better, subscribe if you haven't done so already. You know it is free. And if you'd like to share your thoughts or experiences, that's what the comment section is for. But please keep it constructive. And now, without further ado, I will let you continue watching. In the days of our grandfathers, when their Tom Dooley would hang down his head, it was game over. There were no pills that could resuscitate poor old Tommy. That is different now. Swallow one of these little blue pills and you're back in business. However, this medicine is not so innocent. The package insert will give you a list from Manila to Tokyo with possible side effects. The most common being headache and palpitations. But it also warns you that Viagra can cause instant death. Nevertheless, this medicine sells like hotcakes in places like Dumaguete or Angeles. Even men who didn't want to get the COVID vaccine because they didn't know what it would do to their body are eagerly swallowing their daily candy in order to keep up with their young Filipina, in spite of being warned what it can do to their body. Their health suddenly seems to be less important when they risk not being able to play their favorite sport. As I mentioned before, the generation of our grandfathers didn't talk about this. But current generations are much less reluctant to discuss the subject. Some American vloggers are admittedly on Viagra. And recently, some men under the age of 60 confided in me that nothing much is happening in their bedroom anymore, in spite of the fact that they are married to beautiful Filipinas. That's young, isn't it? But if that surprises you, let me tell you about a conversation I had years ago with a doctor who told me that he regularly saw patients who were not even 40 asking him for Viagra prescriptions. Now that is young. Of course, there are also men who still hit a hole-in-one at the age of 90 without the help of medication, but they are scarce. The thing is that there is no expiration date printed on the peel of our banana, which means that we will have to wait and see when it happens to us. But unless we die early, that day will dawn. Now, when we discuss bedroom problems, most people will immediately think of penile dysfunction. But that is not the only thing that can take the fun out of the game. As we grow older, many of us develop diseases that we didn't have to worry about when we were younger. Some of us will have a heart condition or suffer a stroke. Others may be on chemotherapy for cancer treatment, have respiratory problems or old age diabetes. All of these things can influence bedroom performance. And if the diseases don't, then the side effects of the medication we have to take for it might. And let's not forget the loss of libido that may come with andropause, the male variant of the female menopause. I hope this episode will trigger some productive comments that may help men who are facing these problems, as well as those who are still quite active but wonder what the future may bring. I'm not so much interested in big talk in the sense of I'm 79 and I still do it 3 times a day. For that kind of comment, I just have to go and sit on a bar stool with some guys who just had their 5th beer. True confessions, however, even anonymous, can help prepare the rest of us for problems that will manifest eventually. If you like watching Ormoc Revisited, you may also fancy my other series, 7 Amazing Tales of the Philippines and the Expat Files. Or maybe you are more interested in my videos about Europe. You can find all of these on Homebase Belgium. Be happy, stay healthy, and enjoy life.